I got this new camera and I'm not 100% sure that I'm the best at using it. But anyways, I've done enough research on this to know that I don't know what I'm doing. And like I always say, since I don't know what I'm doing, I can do whatever I want. I went to Tractor Supply and I got myself 2 tractor fenders. I think that's 16 gauge and it is 16 gauge, which is good because I got this steel and I brought it to work and borrowed a slip roller, also 16 gauge. And so I'm going to widen these fenders. How wide? I don't know. I have to figure that out, which I will do as soon as I make a pattern of this and cut out the inside of my truck. So I'm going to make a template of the size of those fenders and cut out whatever is left of my bed behind the tires up here on this part, because this part is the actual outside of the bed. So I need to cut this to fit. I got some construction paper. And I'm going to draw that out and cut it out with scissors. So I'll see you when I'm done with that. So I'm going to attempt to hold this in place and mark it all by myself. I want to make sure that it comes to the top of here and that it's even on both sides. And so I think I'm going to use magnets to hold it in place and then fix it and line it up and everything. So now I need to figure out how to get, 6 inches out of here, between here and between there. The thing that I worry about here is when it's done, I want it to be perfectly parallel, not like this, not like that, not like this. You know what I mean? I want it to be perfectly straight, and I think it'd be easy to get it any other possible way besides perfect. So I need to really take my time, figure out what I'm doing, measure a bunch, and I think I can do it. So, but let's just kind of clamp this together, see what happens. So I'm just going to measure 6 inches from the edge of this in a few spots. My tub is 9.5 inches. The factory fender from Trailer Supply is 9.5 inches, and I want 15.5, mainly because the tires I'm using right now are not the final form of this truck. The tires I have right now are the factory wheels off of my GT500. And I am not buying the final wheels for this truck right now because I'm not spending money on that. I'm only spending money on things I need to get the truck running and driving. So like I'm not going to finish the bed. I'm not going to do the wheels. I'm not going to do much in the interior. Only to get it running and driving. So I got it all tacked in, and I forgot to hit the record button, but now what I'm doing is I'm stacking my tack welds. So I'm just going across and tack welding right next to the last one, and I'm going to build a bead that way. So that's all I'm doing right now. Don't learn to weld from me. If you want to learn how to weld sheet metal, watch another video. Because I am not a professional welder and I don't know what I'm doing, so I'm just welding. So all right, it's the beginning of day 2, and this takes a long time because I'm trying not to get this hot and just doing one tack at a time across the top and the bottom. And the biggest deterrent right now is I'm almost out of welding gas. I got 200 PSI left. So I don't know if I'm gonna have enough to finish. So I've started to grind this down and hit it with the hammer to try to flatten it out. But it's a little bit, as you can see, it's kind of doing that thing there. But I think it's gonna be good enough for me. So I'm gonna go back at it and alternate between tacking, let that cool, grind, let that cool, tack, let it cool, grind, let it cool, tack, let it cool, grind, let it cool, tack, let it cool. Back and forth, 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 back and forth. So I finished my wheel tubs and I got them tacked in, and it's too bright outside to get good footage, but there it is. And this one was the first one I put in. I got it all squared up with the frame and everything and tacked it in, and then I did this side. And this side was a lot harder to get even with the other side. It took a lot of work. And it was towards the end of the night. And I started to get frustrated. And when I started to get frustrated, I should have stopped, because I didn't pay attention to keeping this one as straight as this one, which you can't freaking see because it's too bright outside. And after I got it tacked in, I noticed that that is all wonky. So I don't want to cut all these tacks. And then like that one, there's, you can't see it, but there's one back there that's going to be impossible to cut out. And I'm just going to leave it. And if I don't like it later, I'll do something about it. But there are my tubs. And when the bed is on, you're not going to see that until the bed is open. And that is going to look excellent. It's just too bright outside, this freaking camera. Yep. So they look pretty good. And then I got these bars in there to support everything. So those aren't going to go anywhere. And this bed frame is done. Unless I decide I want to do something here and there, down there. But I doubt it. I painted my wheel tubs the same color as the truck, kind of, pretty close. So, and it looks really good, actually. I'm really happy with the way this color is. I think it's going to match pretty decent. It doesn't need to be perfect because the truck's not perfect. The paint's not perfect. There's a little overspray from the black, and I don't really care because I think it's going to work out perfectly for what I want to do. You can see where I welded. I don't know if you can see that. Yeah, you can see it there and there. I'm not perfect, but it's fucking good enough for me. And so that's all painted. I got home last night from work and I hurried up to get the bed on, so I didn't take any video of that. It was anticlimactic, whatever. The bed is on and my fenders are done and they look great, I think. One big problem, that's not really a big problem. They are rubbing on my tires. So I made them just wide enough in order to touch the tires. Maybe not this side, but that side's touching. But my panhard bar isn't adjusted to center those things out. So that's one thing I got to do. So in order to fix that problem of them rubbing, I got 1/2-inch spacers. No biggie. So I'm going to install these real quick and then lay the bed down and see how everything looks. I got wheel spacers that will make the tires fit the tubs. But I'm an idiot. I thought, oh, I'm just not going to worry about the lugs. I got to worry about the lugs. Because them lugs are too short. Whoop! All right, so I got my 1/2-inch spacers so the wheels would fit. And they do. My lug nuts were fine. But what I meant to say is my lug bolts were too short. So I went to Summit and I got 3-inch lug studs and they work perfect. I thought I might have to cut them, but I didn't. So I have a little spacer on there that I got over a year ago, and then now I put the 1/2-inch, 1/2-inch spacer and 3-inch lug studs, and now my wheels fit. So now what I need to do is lower this thing down and see if there's any more clearance issues. I think I'll be able to hear if it rubs, if the air was quieter. Perfect, isn't it? That's perfect. I want to make sure that the tack welds holding these are going to be strong enough. So I'm really hoping this doesn't break. Let's put 200 and I don't know how many pounds, 235 pounds on there. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, that's a strong wheel well. Let me come over to this one. Yep. All right, cool. My wheel tubs are done. I am happy with that. I got to figure out my air system. I don't have room back here for my air suspension at all, which sucks. bad. So that's going to be a thing. But that's not for today. Thanks for watching. I hope you like what I'm doing here. I like what I'm doing here. Remember, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm making all this up as I go. So if you want to do what I'm doing, good luck. I don't know what I'm doing. That said, all this is turning out great. And I'm really happy with how I've done all this and not knowing what I'm doing. So let's see you back here next time. Peace out. It's about 15. So it's about half an inch less than I initially said. But I think that would be good enough. They are rubbing on my tires. So I made them just wide enough in order to touch the tires. Maybe not this side, but that side's touching. But my panhard bar isn't adjusted to center those things out. So that's one thing I got to do. So in order to fix that problem of them rubbing, I got 1/2 inch spacers. No biggie. So I'm going to install these real quick and then